Welcome in to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking a look at Bitcoin today and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. The market has been in a lot of fear. There's been a lot of FUD out there. If you watched our last show, you would have been a buyer. Congrats to the buyers. I'm bullish. When the whole market is bearish, you need to take the other side. The herd is always wrong. 95% of traders lose money. Why? Because 95% of traders trade with their emotions, trade on what they feel, trade on what they think. You got to be counter. You got to be counter. I'm bullish. We got a green diamond twice, not once, but two green diamonds. And not only do we have two green diamonds here, but they are forming a bullish divergence here on the RSI. Let's get a line tool, get some line action going on. Right here, bullish divergence. Very oversold. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't go to lower levels, and I know that that sounds counterintuitive to what I just said, but we're at the lower end of sentiment. When you look at, let's just look at RSI, purely RSI. You know, when you're overheated, this is when euphoria kicks in, and then you come back down for a correction. The correction is what's needed in a bull market, and then you head onto the next leg, into the next stage of euphoria. We got the euphoria over here. A lot of people got chopped to shit through here, and now where are we? We're back down to the negative sentiment. We're below the 30 line on the RSI. This usually correlates with extremely negative sentiment in the market. When all the sellers have sold, who is left to sell? German government selling Bitcoin, Mt. Gox selling Bitcoin. A lot of that stuff has gone to OTC. For me, I think the biggest contributor to supply, sell side action in the market is the miners. So not a lot of people are talking about the mining capitulation that's happening and has been happening for several months now. I think we're approaching at least 60 days of miner profitability being down. And nobody talks about miner capitulation and the effects that that have on the market. By far, miners have the most Bitcoin. By far. You know, we're talking about, oh, so-and-so has 70,000 Bitcoin, so-and-so has 20,000 Bitcoin. No, the miners have 2 million Bitcoin. The miners have a lot of Bitcoin in reserves. And when they are not profitable, they have to pay their electric bill somehow. These are not small electric bills. These are, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not, you know, $1 million a month for electricity. It's nothing to shake a stick at. So what do they have to do? They have to sell their reserves. And lucky for us on TradingView, we have a nice little indicator. It's a free indicator called the hash ribbons. So the hash ribbons, let's kind of make this a little bit bigger here. Let's just get rid of RSI for a sec. Nah, we'll keep it. All right, turn. Okay, that doesn't really help. Let's just take a look at the hash ribbons. So hash ribbons talk about miner profitability. And you can see that when this green line is above this white line, the white line is the cost of electricity. So when you're trading at the white line, the amount of electricity that you are spending to produce the Bitcoin is equal to the Bitcoin. So if it costs you, we'll just use easy math, if it costs you $10,000 worth of electricity to produce one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is worth $10,000, I know it's not, but let's just say it is, you would be at this white line. So as long as you're above it, you're making money producing Bitcoin. The coins that you are producing cost more or are worth more than your electricity bill. As soon as you cross below that gray line, now it costs you more in electricity than the coins you're producing. So what do you have to do in that scenario is you have to sell the coins. And this happens all the time. And particularly it happens after the halving, because who got a haircut? Who got a 50% haircut on their profitability? The miners. The miners lost half of their Bitcoin. They went from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin per block. So they lost half of their revenues. So you do get miner capitulation. Now, another thing that happened during this run-up is we had a huge rally in the ordinals space. And ordinals, let's kind of clean this chart up a bit. We don't need all of this fancy stuff on here right now. Ordinals made mining incredibly profitable. We saw at least 3 high fee environments where the fees were very significant, where it cost you at least $20 to send a Bitcoin transaction. And as a result, there was a flood of miners coming into the market, buying machines and starting up hash rates, starting their hash rate. And because the times were good, it was extremely profitable to be a miner. Then ordinals died. I mean, they're not dead, but you know, the volume in ordinals died, the minting in ordinals died, and the miners got paid a lot less, and there was a halving. So you have 2 factors contributing to the loss of revenue on the miners. But there is a silver lining here. There is a silver lining. Pretty much every time that the profitability comes back to the miners, meaning that the electricity used is worth less than the coins produced. I hope that makes sense. I'm maybe not phrasing that the best. But when this green line goes above the white line, you get a buy signal. And a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times that signals a rally. So this one was not. This one, it did. I mean, we're pretty much at the market cycle lows. So it's not that bad of an indicator for those who are trading Bitcoin on the long term. But that was a signal that did not work. This signal did work. We got a nice rally after that. Had a beautiful 70, 85% rally after that. From this point, it marked the bottom. We got a beautiful 180% rally after that. But let's actually just go back a little bit further here and go to the halving of previous cycles. And we can see that after the halving, we got a buy signal. So the miner, you know, they were not profitable after the halving, which is not surprising. And then you got a buy signal. And that buy signal after the halving is what kicked off phase 2 of the bull market. So buy signal after the halving kicked off phase 2 of the bull market, which is above the all-time high, and you get the extreme rally. It's big. Let's look at the halving prior to that. Let's actually turn this on log here. The halving prior to that, we had a minor capitulation. Then we got a buy signal. What did that buy signal represent? It represented the beginning of phase 2. There are 2 phases to every bull market. Phase 1 is price recovery, where all or most of the market participants are already here, particularly on the retail side. So you have smart money making new investments, and you have retail just around, reinvesting, even though they lost in the prior cycle. But you don't have new money coming in. You don't have new retail coming in. I'm sure if you talk to your friends and family, they would never in a million years guess that Bitcoin is actually at the highest price it's ever been. So it's the sentiment out there in retail is still very negative, and a lot of people wouldn't even consider Bitcoin an option as far as making any money. Phase 2 is the retail mania phase. And retail mania is where you have the most exciting part of the market. It's up only. Everything goes up. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Altcoin season actually begins. You get a lot of positive things happening in phase 2, and it's harvest time. If you've been here this long, you've been sowing your seeds, you've been spreading your allotment in your portfolio, and you've been getting ready for phase two. Phase two is the harvest. That's when everybody gets in. That's when everybody discovers, wow, what a miraculous thing. Look at Bitcoin. It's over $100,000. What price could it go to? Could Bitcoin go to $1 million? Wow, this is amazing. You get that euphoria, and that's when you start to take profits and harvest everything that you have worked so hard for, buying in the bear market, experiencing the volatility of phase one, and going through the FUD and negative experiences from a sentiment point of view of phase one. So if you're wondering what you're getting paid for, you're getting paid for your wherewithal and your ability to handle the volatility in this market. Let's take a look at the halving prior to that. Again, boom, another example. So every single buy signal that we've seen on minor capitulation has correlated with a phase two rally in the market. So let's go back to present day. Let's take a look at what we're setting up for right now. Put your comments, don't forget to add your comments, people, so that I can take a look and catch up with the chat when I'm done yammering. But basically, what we need is this red line needs to cross up. It needs to cross up above the white line. And the moment that cross occurs is when you get your buy signal. So we're setting up. It's looking really good. We have alphanumerics flashing buy signals. We have the minor capitulation preparing to flash a significant buy signal that I anticipate will happen in the next, let's see, 4 to 6 weeks. I think we will get that buy signal in the next 4 to 6 weeks. RSI is at the bottom of the range. Sentiment is incredibly low. I just don't see it. I just don't see, people talking about much lower levels. We got people talking about sub 50K levels. We haven't even reached the 50K level. So, 48, I think somebody said in the chat, 48. Why am I not getting? Okay. I'm not getting messages from multi-stream, but that's okay. We got the YouTube comments coming in. So yeah, my thoughts on it going to 48K. It's possible, but the thing is, that's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody thinks. They're all thinking that we're going to go to 48K. And we've already come down a lot. We've already come down a lot. From the high here, where we came to the bottom, was around 27%. Listen, Bitcoin is bullish. Bitcoin is a bullish asset. The institutions are in and they're buying. You have big players buying right now. I don't think we're going to get those big 30% retracements. I think that, 27 is going to be good enough. A lot of people are expecting, most of the market is, if not all of the market is expecting for lower levels. They're expecting lower levels. When everybody is expecting lower levels, the bottom is probably in. There's a high probability that the bottom is in, historically speaking. And that also has to do with the fact that, what I said at the beginning of the show, if all the sellers have sold, who is left to sell? So I'm not sure that 48K is going to happen. In the last show, I said, the bottom was in right here. It wasn't, but, we have so much to point to say that we're at or near a bottom. And I just don't think that we're going to head to these levels that everybody's calling for. So I think this is it. Not only that, when we take a look at the daily, let me turn hash ribbons off right now. You guys get the picture on that. So hash ribbons is free. Go on TradingView. Take a look at hash ribbons, put it on your chart because it is an applicable time to be watching that chart. We'll turn that off for now. But here on the short term meaning these last couple candles here, we've reclaimed the 7. There's a huge divergence here with the moving averages. You can see that the 7 has really pulled away from the 30 and the 50. this is kind of how the MACD works. So MACD stands for moving average convergence and divergence. So when you get a large divergence, meaning that it's pulling apart, you kind of get a snapback where you get the convergence, and that's kind of the MACD cross. And we're climbing back on top of the moving averages. So if price can stay above the 7, it means that the 7 is going to curl back up. And if the 7 curls back up and crosses the 30, well, now you have a MACD cross, essentially. I'm just kind of telling you how MACD works for fun. I don't know why. But you're getting that convergence come back where the price needs to correct back to the upside. So if we can take out the 30 and get back above this is a very critical line for me. So this 60K level, it's a very psychological level. If we can get back on top of the 60 and then start to rally off of that, that will confirm this whole move as what we call in Wyckoff as a spring. And a spring is when you have a fake out move to the downside and then a strong move to the upside. It does have to be a strong move, so we will have to watch out for that. And I'm going to need to see volume come in. Right now, volume is not coming in. So it's a low volume spring, which is good. It means that, you know, there's not a lot of volume going towards pushing this price down. But if we get a rally up, if we get above that 60K level, if we start to get some big fuck you green candles on volume, then we can really start to lean into this and look at this consolidation as a reaccumulation with a decline. Reaccumulation with decline, reaccumulation with spring. And if we see that volume come in, then it's going to be good. It's going to look good. The big line in the sand from an alphanumerics point of view is 70K. Now that's way up there. So, you know, I'm sure most of the market will be convinced we're bullish again when we're back up at the top of the range, because that's how price works. Everybody's bullish at the top of the range. Everybody's bearish at the bottom of the range. So no surprises there that, you know, we would consider that bullish. But alphanumerics every single week is bringing us closer and closer. So every week we do get, you know, a dot that comes a little bit closer to price and makes it easier for us to flip our bearish bias into a bullish bias. But yeah. What is with the green and the blue loss? So with the hash ribbons, we'll pull it back up. Green means miners are losing money. That's all it means. Why is it green? I don't know. But it's just marking the point at which miners are losing money. And then when you get the blue is when the profitability of mining officially crosses zero. So if it costs $50,000 of electricity to produce a $50,000 Bitcoin, it's at the zero line. So as soon as mining becomes profitable, the day that people start making money from mining is the day that you get a buy signal in blue. I don't know why it's so hard for me to explain that. Guess us altcoin holders are community members. Happens every time. Who's been telling you to buy alts? Who has been telling you to buy alts? They should be slapped. Nobody told you to buy alts. Why did I not tell you to buy alts? Because of this chart right here. Look at that. Alts get wrecked. I have had this on this chart for fucking almost a year now. Above this line, alts get wrecked. What happened? We went above the lines. Alts got wrecked. Altcoin season begins below this line. As soon as we get below 50% dominance in Bitcoin, it will be altcoin season. And that will couple with phase 2. Another characteristic of phase 2 of the bull market is alts really do start outperforming Bitcoin. Thus far, alts have not been outperforming Bitcoin. Look at this. This is pathetic. This is Cardano. My heart goes out to any of the fools that thinks Cardano is an investment. My heart goes out to anybody that thinks XRP is the future of finance. My heart goes out to anybody that thinks that Litecoin is better than Bitcoin. You know, every single one of these charts has shown you that the play is Bitcoin. If you hold any of these alts, you've been getting fucking destroyed, wrecked, annihilated. And all you needed to do is pay attention to this chart. What does this chart tell you? If this chart is going up, you do not buy altcoins. With the exception of brand new projects, okay? And even then, you're dancing in extremely volatile and dangerous territory, and your stops need to be your position size. So very, very small position sizes. Many of the people who have been watching this channel for a while know that I'm heavily allocated into ordinals. And when I say heavily allocated, I mean I've gone into a lot of different projects. My total allocation into ordinals was not more than 10% of my Bitcoin. And it's resulted in a high that was much more than 10% of my portfolio. But I'm interested in the new stuff. This chart more accurately represents the old stuff. You know, your Chainlinks, your Cardano, your Ethereum, all of that stuff is more accurately represented here. And all of that stuff has been absolute garbage. If you've been holding it and not holding Bitcoin, you've learned a lesson onto why you hold Bitcoin through phase 1 of the bull market. Phase 2 is very different though. Phase 2 is when we start heading to the downside. Phase 2 is when the trend changes. Phase 2 is when we start to trend back down to kind of that 40% dominance range. And this is your altcoin season. This move right here. That's when alts outperform Bitcoin. That's when you start to see the 100x gains. That's when you start to see the ridiculous moves inside of the altcoins. But is it altcoin season yet? Nope. Not until we cross that line. Not until we get below 50% dominance. So until then, just chill. Perfect explanation of the hash ribbons. Thank you. You are very welcome. Let's take a look at ETH. So ETH, let's take a look at ETH BTC because this is actually a more interesting picture. So we're not gonna talk about this. We've talked about that plenty of times. I don't want to upset the ETH community because I have something nice to say. I have something nice to say to the ETH community. It's looking like your downtrend against Bitcoin is coming to an end, in my opinion. Now, this downtrend is still intact. Okay? This downtrend is still intact. But I am seeing a little bit of a bottoming pattern. We also have this kind of inverse head and shoulders, if you're the type to like the inverse head and shoulders. But what I really want to see is I want to see that break. We got to get above this downtrend. We have to consolidate above this downtrend. If we can get above this downtrend, then altcoin season begins. I think ETH will be the leader of the altcoin season. There have been outliers in altcoins. If you've been in Solana, you've been very happy. If you've been in Immutable X, you've been very happy. If you've been in Ronin, you've been very happy. There's been some interesting outliers in the market. But if you've been in ETH, ETH has done jack shit. It's done nothing. But the moment ETH begins to do something, I think it's going to signal to the market it's go time. And we're getting very close. We're not there yet. We're still below it. But if we can start trading above that red line, it's going to signal to the market it's go time. It's altcoin season. And we can start to see some really fun profits to be had out there. Another outlier, this is coming from a comment here from Brett Austin. Take a look at CAS. CAS has been huge. Now, is CAS the same as CASPA? Or is CAS different from CASPA? I just want to make sure, because CASPA has certainly been an outlier. CASPA has been doing huge, huge moves. So let's take a look at CAS. Okay, it is CASPA. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so we can go and take a look at Caspa. Caspa's doing crazy shit. Crazy shit. Huge moves. Is it a good time to buy right now? I would be very apprehensive to new buys right now, particularly considering that we are in a pretty steep divergence here. But the sentiment for CAS is huge. But you have lower highs on the RSI, and you have higher highs on price. So that could result in some sort of a negative downside move. Maybe get a move down to kind of, I don't know, 8 cents, 10 cents, something like that. But, you know, if the bottom is in the market, the bottom's in, and it would take a unique and isolated event specific to the CAS community for that to happen. So that would be a hack, that would be a fork, that would be some sort of thing that would happen in the Caspa community that would cause that. So we're not going to count that. We're not going to say that that's bearish. We're going to say that that's just a bearish potential based off of some technicals. But the technicals, you know, you don't really need to get into the RSI too much, because the technicals are CAS is making an uptrend. And when things are making an uptrend, it's usually a good thing. I would personally be apprehensive for new buys. I'm not saying you can't do a new buy, but maybe wait for Bitcoin dominance to drop a little bit. Maybe wait for Ethereum to have its breakout before you get any new buys. And I wouldn't buy all at once. I would like to kind of buy somewhere in the middle of this range. And then I would like to see it break the structure and then buy this breakout. It's a much higher price. I understand that. It's a higher price, but you're paying for confirmation. So you get some skin in the game to pay attention, and then you would buy the breakout. But CAS has been killing it. Absolutely killing it. Really strong asset this cycle. GM. All right. Now, if you're ever wondering how you can measure if an alt is worth your time, this is a very important part. Listen to this. If your altcoin is not outperforming the market as a whole, you shouldn't be buying it. I don't care what the fundamentals are. I don't care if it's a fucking undiscovered gem. I don't care if the market is sleeping on it. I don't care if it's a laggard. I don't care if it's going to play catch up. I don't care any of that fucking nonsense. If your alt is not outperforming the total market, do not buy it. And once you get used to that concept, I would say if your alt's not outperforming Bitcoin, do not buy it. But baby steps. So what I would do in this scenario, just to prove to you how well CAS has been doing, is you click this little plus button and you type total. That's the total cryptocurrency market. And look at that. It's certainly outperformed the entire cryptocurrency market. It's certainly outperformed. The entire cryptocurrency market is up 136% since CAS became a chart, and CAS is up 11,000%. So it's been doing incredibly well. Now, take this figure into consideration as well. People have made 11,000%. If they bought down here when CAS first became tradable on MEXC, they've made 11,000%. You got some pretty rich people, right? They hold a lot of supply. They can dump on your ass. So I won't be buying CAS. I personally will not be buying CAS. I think that the juice has been squeezed from that lemon. And I don't think there's not enough left for me to get excited. But for the CAS enthusiast out there, we're still in an uptrend. So, you know, it's not an unhealthy chart. It's still making higher highs and higher lows. Do you follow BTC miners like CLSK or IREN? Nope. I could take a look, but I do not. I do not buy stocks. I do not live in the clear net of financial markets. CLSK. Clean Spark. I met them in Vegas at the Unconfiscatable conference. Those guys are cool as fuck. Those are dope, really smart people. Very, very smart people. The ClearNet team is just solid. Really, really cool guys. Their stock hasn't been performing, but here's the thing. They need some positive sentiment. And what will give the market, the traditional market, positive sentiment towards a Bitcoin miner? Bitcoin at 100K. Not to mention Bitcoin profitability. For the last 60 days, nobody's been making money. If you're a miner, you haven't made money. You've been spending Bitcoin. So it's not surprising to see that this chart is down so low. Let's compare it to the other one you mentioned. IREN, Iris Energy Limited. The market prefers Clean Spark. Let's take a look at 1 year of price action. So in the last year, the market has a preference for Clean Spark. So the market is more bullish on Clean Spark than they are on IREN. So if I was to place bets, I would say stick with Clean Spark. Clean Spark looks good. Clean Spark was only a miner after 2020. Yeah, they seemed relatively new, but I like they want to mine clean Bitcoin. I think that's going to be an interesting narrative from an ECG standpoint. They want to be the #1 provider of clean energy Bitcoin. I think that's a cool thing. And I think that that's going to get popular. The chart before was a different company. Ah, really? It said Clean Spark. It says Clean Spark on the NASDAQ. It's the only one. So that's the chart. Unless you got a different ticker for me. Yeah, let's take a look at the other one just individually, IREN. Iris Energy Limited. Yeah, it's playing some catch up, but it definitely has a better structure than Clean Spark. So even though the market prefers Clean Spark in the last year of price action, I do like the structure of this one a little bit better. We're a little bit overheated right now. You can see we have the high RSI, so maybe it gets a correction back down to $7, maybe $8. But yeah, it looks decent. I don't really trade the stocks. I live in the dark net. What do you think about G8C USDT Bitmart real world assets project? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Bitmart. What's the ticker? G8C USD? G8C. Let's take a look at a website. Do they not? Ah, here we go. Is this it? The hell is this? This can't be it. Oh, Web3, okay. Social media, messaging service, video and voice conferencing content. It's trying to be a super app. I hope they have a lot of money. I hope they have a lot of fucking money, because the thing about social media is you can't force people to use it. You can't force people to use social media. We saw this with pretty much anything that, you know, a better Instagram happens, a better Facebook happens. Like, nobody cares. The users are set in their ways. So do I think this has the ability to take market share? No, not really. Especially if they have their own token, especially if because they're not going to be around long enough. They're not going to be around long enough to actually do something. It looks cool. It looks like they got some money in the coffers. Let's take a look at the chart. Chart looks terrible. Downtrend. Here's my qualm with Web3. Web3 doesn't need a coin. Web3 is just the ability to connect a wallet. That's it. That's Web3. I can connect a wallet. You know what can connect a wallet? Bitcoin wallets. Why the fuck do you need a coin? Why do we have a G8 coin? You don't need a G8 coin. What am I buying? Am I buying a share in stock in the company? Nope. So what the fuck am I buying? Oh, we need to engineer a way to, you know, make this have value as a utility token. It all loses value against Bitcoin. Now, I'm talking big picture here, because in a bull market, vaporware flies off the shelves. Everybody gets rich in a bull market. Doesn't matter. You know, phase 2, this shit will go up. But is it going to be around long enough to actually become an app that people use? No. Why? Because they have a coin. That's it. They have a coin. They're greedy. They're going to fuck people around. They're going to develop a bad reputation for themselves when the bear market inevitably comes. When the bear market comes, this company gets destroyed. If their coin was Bitcoin, that wouldn't happen. And you can do everything that these companies claim to do with Bitcoin. So that's my like fundamental analysis of it. But let's take a look at the chart a little bit better on the 8 Gen. What the fuck is it? The hell am I looking at? G8 coin. G8 coin. Oh my God, it's on fucking, it's a Binance coin. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Yeah. So it's a scam. If you have a project and you launch on the Binance Smart Chain, you are a scam. It's just a silly rule I follow. It's done wonders for my portfolio. If your coin exists on the Binance Smart Chain, it's a scam. That's it. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's not this. Is it a clone? Where do I find it? What's the ticker is G8C. That's all that pops up. So if this isn't that, then for sure this is a scam because it's on PancakeSwap. Is it the same price? No, it's not. So it's a different coin. So not surprising that this chart that I'm looking at is a scam because it's on Binance Smart Chain. This doesn't have a chart on TradingView. So I don't know. Pretty small market cap. Oh, it doesn't even have a market cap listed. They can't calculate it. That's going to hinder its growth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say. Nothing good to say. All right. Freedom33, by the way, I was subscribed to your channel and it unsubscribed me at some point. YouTube is weird, man. If you're subscribed to a lot of channels, YouTube will unsubscribe on your behalf. So this is a good reminder to those watching, hit the like button. Not for me. If you like to view my content, if you think that if you think that anything that I'm saying comes with value and you want to see what I say next, hit the like button for you, because that's how the algorithm works. When you subscribe to something and you like it, you're going to stay subscribed. If you if you don't like something, or if you dislike something and you stop watching certain things, the algorithm will be like, well, this guy hasn't watched this in 90 days. He hasn't liked any of the videos. We're just going to unsubscribe. That's the way YouTube works. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with how they're able to store data, and they have certain amount of data that they can hold per user. I have no idea, but that's what YouTube does. So if you do like the content, you do want to see it again, subscribe, bell notification, and like. I appreciate the likes because it helps get my message out here, but it's also for you. Dog. All right, we're getting into the runes, are we? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at dog. What do I think of it? I think it is a meme coin. And I personally don't care about meme coins. Here's the thing. Here's the unique and interesting phenomenon that has been happening in this market thus far. What's happened is the venture capitalists and the people who are launching products have realized that the market really doesn't give a fuck about fundamentals. They care about gambling. They care about number go up, create a meme, Twitter blast the shit out of a project, pump my bags. That's all they care about. So now the teams have realized, hey, we don't need to make a roadmap. We don't need a white paper. We don't need to do this. Hey, smart contract interaction with liquidity pools and this and that, but we don't need to do that. All you need to do is create a website. If that, create a website, get some guy to fucking make some memes, and market the shit out of a coin. That's it. All of the marketing dollars, all of the project dollars that would have gone towards development of a project are now going towards marketing. And that's why we have so many meme coins, because everybody's like, well, why would we do all that work? All we got to do is pay a marketer. That's all we got to do. Get some flashy things, get a dog in a hat, and boom, we're off to the races. So that's what the market demand has created. And now we have all of these fucking memes. And dog is no different. But what's fun about meme, or what I've noticed about memes, is when you have the first of something, at least people think that there's collective value to it because it's the first. So this is like the first meme using the runes protocol. So that's its value. You know, we have meme, the first meme coin on Bitcoin. That didn't, we'll see how that one pans out. But do I think this is like a Shiba Inu? No. I think those days are done. I think the Shiba Inus are what created the market conditions that we're in right now. The market wants to get another Shiba Inu. The market participants want to find a Shiba Inu. And because all of the market participants want to find a Shiba Inu, they're never going to find it again. It's never going to happen again. You're never going to see the price expansion of SHIB. Let's take a look at what I'm even talking about here. Shiba Inu did a fucking ridiculous. It went to $50 billion. It went to $54 billion. That is never going to happen again. So if you're a meme coin investor trying to find the next Shiba Inu, it's never going to happen again. That doesn't even give you a good representation, because a lot of the price action actually came on chain. So before you even hit exchanges. But Shiba, you're never going to have a meme ever hit $54 billion again, ever. Dog to the moon, I think it'll go up because there is that desire, and desire is another word for demand. So because people want to get into a Shiba Inu, they're going to buy the first dog coin using the runes protocol and hope that it turns into a Shiba Inu. And the demand from those people desperately trying to find a Shiba Inu, the number will go up. Consolidating right now. I don't know. We'll see. Needs to break 14 sats. Once it breaks 14 sats, it'll probably take an impulse up to a double of some kind. They'll get to 30 sats, something like that. But yeah, don't really care. I have some. Got airdropped. Got a lot of airdrops this cycle. If you've been dabbling in the ordinals, your bags are fucking loaded with airdrops. So many airdrops. That's what I think, Brent. Sorry if it's not. But, you know, number go up. Number go up. I do think number go up. It's not going to do a Shiba Inu. Thoughts on Ordi and Track? Ordi. Ordi's got a weird chart. I keep trying to figure out how to draw this line. Nothing really fits. So when nothing really fits, you just get rid of the line. You try something else. So downtrend, it's going to be similar to Track. It's actually got a somewhat similar shape to Bitcoin as well. I do think that the success of the ordinal space is dependent and it's reliant on the back of Bitcoin's performance. So as long as Bitcoin is in a downtrend, all the ordinals are going to continue to bleed. It's not until Bitcoin starts to break some of its all-time highs that the ordinals will break some of their all-time highs. Until Bitcoin is at 100K, Ordi is not going to be at $100. But once it's above, these things are going to take off. I think the ordinals are going to be a huge narrative. We do need the ordinal user experience to become a little bit easier. And I think part of that relies on the exchanges. So once you get more exchanges listing these things, then you'll get some more follow through. And it is happening. You know, Track got listed. Track got listed on MEX exchange, which is a moderately large exchange. But we haven't gotten above this downward sloping line of resistance. When I exclude this little fake out breakout here, this is kind of the line of resistance. This is the line in the sand for me. And we haven't gotten above it, but we are reducing the volatility. We are reducing the volume. Volume's piss poor. It's, you know, we shouldn't even look at volume on an ordinal. There's not enough market participation. We did get a green diamond signal here and a bullish cross here. But until we can get above this downward sloping line of resistance, the assumption is that this downtrend will continue. So we'll see. We'll see. It's in Bitcoin's hands. It's in Bitcoin's hands. So when Bitcoin performs well, all of these Bitcoin-related projects will also perform well. There's only one dog coin, Doge. Yep. I agree with that, I think. And Doge is unique, too, because it doesn't have a team. Doge and Bitcoin are very similar in the sense that they were just launched, put out into the ether, and communities picked them up. People mine Doge. Doge... The whales like to play with Doge. I think Doge can certainly pump. Let's take a look at Doge. But again, Doge never did the price advances that Shiba Inu did. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. I think the reason we have such a meme coin centric cycle is because of Shiba Inu, not because of Doge. Even though Doge, you know, was in the news a lot, the actual P&L return came from Shiba Inu. But you know, we're not in altcoin season yet, as you can see, as you can plainly see. But this is a nice retest of the accumulation range. Let's actually clean this up a little bit, and we got some Wyckoff stuff we can talk about here. Let's remove that. And we have our seller's climax into our automatic rally. So let's draw a trading range. Seller's climax into our automatic rally. And we're testing the range. We're in our backup phase. So this is This is our SOS right here, which means that this is our backup phase. It could go to the middle. It could go to the middle, so maybe 8 cents. Let's get our backup. Oh. Anyways, I'm not going to do all the labels because most people don't understand Wyckoff, but what you're looking for is down to sideways to the beginning of up. That's Wyckoff in a nutshell. The ability to identify down, the ability to identify sideways, and the ability to identify a change into up. And this is showing characteristics of that change into an uptrend. So basically, the buy signal from a Wyckoff perspective is actually way up here. You could probably get in sooner than that, but the actual technical buy signal for Wyckoff is price gets above that line. So once it gets above 21 cents, that's when it takes off. So you get back up above 21 cents, Doge is going to go for it. All right. That's it. Been streaming for about an hour here. We're going to close it out there. So thank you all for joining in. Oh, before I go, sign up for blackbox.pro. We are about to launch Bangbox. Sorry, I'm not going to close it out. If I can have 10 minutes of your attention, it could change your life. We are about to launch Bangbox, which is our proprietary scalping strategy. So if we go to the 15-minute, let's just go to Bangbox here, turn Bangbox on. Here is what we're looking at. So in the last 88 trades, we've made 1,500%. Actually, we can do better than that. We can turn the alphanumerics filter on, which means that it only trades in the green wave. We've made some pretty advanced changes to the algorithm, and this is a very profitable strategy. Very profitable strategy. And in the last 50 trades, it's done 1,200%. 62% of the trades are profitable trades. The profit factor is 2.5. I challenge you to find a successful and consistent strategy above 2.5. What that means is for every trade, the amount of risk that the bot takes is able to achieve a 2.5 risk to reward ratio, which is pretty big for an algorithm. That's pretty big for an algorithm. And what it represents is our risk aversion. We do not want you guys to lose money on this bot. We focus a lot on the risk side of things, which means we get you out of trades really, really quickly. You'll get some profits. As soon as some profits are locked in, we're getting you out of the trade. Most of our trades are profitable. Yes, it says 62% here, but that's 62% of the time you get a 20% trade. We have other trades where you get in at break, where you get out at break even. Other trades where you get out at small profits. Let's bring this down here and show a few examples. Oh, I gotta turn filter off because the wave is red. So we just had this trade last night, and that was a 2.5% trade. 2.5%. I mean, it's not huge, but these things add up. They add up to 1,500% in the last 88 trades. So imagine your account just trading Bitcoin, no altcoins needed. You've got liquidity, you've got safety, you've got all of that just trading Bitcoin. This one was a stop loss. We got stopped out of this one. This one, small profit. I think that one was a 1.5%. The one before that was a ripper. We changed the strategy too. So it used to cap you at 20%. So this one got you 20%. Now we've removed the 20% cap. So this one in theory could have gotten you, with the new strategy, almost 30% on this candle, because the breakout, it was such a big move. You could have gotten 30% on that. So we've done some really, really cool stuff to the program. Sign up for free. It's 100% free. There's no joke. You don't have to pay anything ever. And how that works is we use our bots partnered with specific exchanges. So if you sign up on BitGet, we are partnering with Blowfin very, very soon. We are partnered with 2bit, but the 2bit bot doesn't work. Just go for BitGet. And that's it. You just partner with you trade on the partnered exchange, and you will never pay a fee, ever. We also have a really strong community, so if you aren't already in the Discord, I encourage you to join the Discord. Flashing right there is a QR code for you to scan. And yeah, until next time, please trade safe, everyone. It is a jungle out there. Peace.